Thank you for joining us for Open Line tonight. We're talking about affordable housing. I have Marshall Crawford here with me from the Housing Fund. Thanks again for being here, Marshall.
No problem. Thank you.
You know, this is such vital information for folks who are just saying, how do I do it?
Yes.
How do I do it in this economy, in the popularity of Nashville? How do I become a renter that can sustain myself or a home buyer? A lot of people have that dream. Don't blame them. We're going to get to the phone lines first. We have Jackie on the line. Hi, Jackie.
Hey.
Hi, go ahead.
Yeah, I was asking a question, like if you if you own a home, but it might be somewhere else, not in Nashville, can you still get help with affordable home if you haven't lived in a house 3 years? If you haven't lived in that home in 3 years?
You want to you can go ahead and turn down your TV if you can, Jackie, because we're getting a lot of feedback. But are you saying if you want to keep that house elsewhere, but you want to buy in this area and you're looking for help?
Yeah, like if you hadn't lived in that house in 3 years, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, that's a great question. And so you have rental property, which is actually supplementing your income. And so there's an opportunity to get with a mortgage loan officer and talk about what that unit does for your income level. And if you haven't been there, does that now count as qualify you still as a first-time home buyer or even just a regular home buyer? So you are able to talk to mortgage loan officers and determine whether or not that serves as income for you.
Okay, and Jackie, hang on. We're going to walk you through the steps to get help from the Housing Fund here in just a second. So hang on where you are. Maybe you'll understand the process a little bit better, because I have a lot to learn too here. But first, I do want to get to Betty.
I was going to say, I never said I was getting
Okay, may I? Oh, I pushed the wrong button. Hi, Betty. Betty, are you with us?
Hello.
Hi there. Go ahead with your comment or question.
Yes, my brother is a veteran, and he has mental problems, and I'm his caretaker, and we both draw over $1,000 a month, but we're paying half of that on rent in an apartment, and I would like to see if he could own his own home, or could I buy one for us, or both of us?
Okay, this is Betty. I'm glad you called in, and Jackie as well, because this gives us the jump-off point to say, for folks like this who say, I want to own a home, don't know if I have the money to do it or not, where do they start? How do they get to the Housing Fund and get help? Yeah,
absolutely. And you know what? I think the first step for them is homebuyer education. Yeah. I think there's a great opportunity to educate a lot of people if they go through a homebuyer education process to learn a little bit more about what does it take. You know, for an individual like that, it's a matter again of sitting down with a mortgage loan officer and having some discussion about your circumstances and what the incomes look like as well, and whether or not he can qualify on his own. Being a veteran, there are programs out there that you can take advantage of, and so you really need to sit down with that mortgage loan officer and have that discussion about the income and the affordability.
Now, you mentioned some numbers off the top of the show. I want you to tell us those again, and then we'll jump into where the Housing Fund comes in to make those numbers reality. So you mentioned again.
Absolutely. So we have helped 3,300 families get into home ownership through providing down payment assistance, about $20 million in down payment assistance. And so how an individual takes advantage of that is first reaching out to a mortgage loan officer, going through the process with the mortgage loan officer, and being approved by a mortgage loan officer for a first mortgage.
Can it be any loan officer, or does it have to be someone you guys work with?
Nope, it could be any loan officer. Okay. So it could be any loan officer, and then they will evaluate and determine if this individual needs down payment assistance. And then you call us, and then we will identify, take you through our process, our application process, and determine your affordability and your ability to qualify for down payment assistance. There are plenty of down payment assistance programs out there. Our down payment assistance goes up to $35,000 if you qualify for that. Because of the high cost of housing in Nashville, then that's important. So a lot of individuals or a lot of Nashvillians are struggling to meet the cost of housing because they don't have, and then the down payment assistance. And so getting our down payment assistance up to $35,000 helps address some of that need around affordability.
Okay, this perks up two questions in my mind. The first one being, you said the loan officer would say you need down payment assistance. So they could qualify you for a house and say you could afford this much house, but you're going to need a down payment of X amount for this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So absolutely. And then they got to look at what programs out there. Loan officers can help you identify what programs are out there for down payment assistance. And so the housing fund is just one of those options.
And when you say assistance, you are not forking over $35,000 for someone saying, here's your gift.
Not at all.
Tell me what assistance is.
Not at all. So when they're providing assistance, when I say assistance, there are down payment programs out there where where you can get down payment assistance and it is forgivable over a period of time. Ours is a loan and it's repayable. Ours is we are a revolving loan fund, so you pay that off, it goes back into a fund, whereas we can help more families being able to achieve home ownership. So that's why our investors that support the housing fund provide it in a way that allows us to revolve those resources and help more families out as well.
So really it's kind of like almost getting a second mortgage or a second loan.
And it is a second mortgage, absolutely.
And what kind of interest rate are we talking about, since this is a nonprofit, so this is assistance?
Correct.
How's
and
that
so
determined?
it varies. It varies either way from 4 to 5 to up to 8%. Just taking a look at what the family's ability to qualify for. And I think 8% might be a little high. My loan specialist is probably saying, no, that's not what it is. So I would tell you, call Candace, have a conversation with Candace, and she would be able to help you out of probably a whole lot better than what I can.
But it all starts with getting approved for a home loan.
It all starts with getting approved for a home loan. Sit down, have a conversation with a mortgage loan officer. If you can get into a homebuyer education program, that's even better, because those educators can provide better assistance. We have a support system that provides homebuyer education called eHome America that we utilize. It's an online process, and then our counselor will provide you with some guidance of walking you through that process. And then you can also, Woodbine is a nonprofit organization that also provides homebuyer education. Affordable Housing Resources also provides homebuyer educations. So there are nonprofits out there throughout the state and throughout Nashville that can help Nashvillians achieve home ownership and become more educated about that process.
Yeah, what it looks like, what it will do to you financially.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's jump back to lines because we have lots of people waiting. I do believe that I have Marcia on the line with us. Hi, Marcia.
Hi, I was just wondering if you had any programs to help musicians or artists for affordable housing or studio space?
Great question.
Great question, because what you're referring to is what we call make a mark. So we have a development, it's a development loan that we can provide to qualified individuals that actually could utilize those resources for both housing and workspace. And so this program has been around. It's supported by a grant that we got from an investor to help individuals like yourself that are in the artist community and being able to support them for the work they've done. We've got some great examples out there where we've been able to help individuals here in Nashville. It's a creative city, so why not provide a creative product to help these type of individuals be able to support them in their ambitions for home ownership.
Clearly you have an investor who loves musicians, loves those folks, and wants to see them succeed and be able to stay here in this city.
Yes.
That is all about music.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, so Marcia should call the housing fund.
Yes, she should call the housing fund. Give us a call. We'd be more than happy to work closely with you, see if you qualified, and we'll be able to support more artists as well.
Cool. Marcia, thanks for your call. Let's talk to Wayne now. Hi, Wayne.
Yeah, thanks for the time.
Sure.
The question I have is there a regulatory agency that you end up moving to one of these low-income units, and then you find out once you get in that it's got a lot of problems, and when you report it, they basically say, well, if you don't want to fix it, you got to move. And I was told the housing authority is the one you report to, but is there an agency that you can actually say, okay, this is what I got into. I didn't know when I moved it was there. who can you report things to when you find out there's a problem where you're at?
Well, it's a good question. It's a little bit different than probably your expertise, because we're talking about two different things. I think Wayne is perhaps talking about subsidized housing. Would it be TDHA?
Well, MDHA is probably a better organization that might be able to assist them with that. But this goes back to what I was speaking to earlier about the majority of affordable housing throughout Nashville is essentially owned by private investors. And so if they don't have any subsidy in it, they don't follow the same rules or guidelines that are mandated by if subsidy is in that. What I would encourage them to do is to reach out to maybe MDHA and determine if there is somebody that can direct them in the right direction for being able to report that or communicate with.
I'm sure it's a call they get almost daily.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, Wayne. Good luck. I wish we had a better answer for you, but I think that's probably the best place to start. Let's hop to Bonnie here. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
Go ahead with your question or comment.
Yes, ma'am. I have been, when I became disabled, I am living in a Section 8 housing. And the crime rate has gotten really bad. And for someone like me, if I went and looked at some other apartment complexes or townhouses, and the people say, yes, they take Section 8 subsidized housing. But once you get in there and you go to fill out an application, they go, well, it doesn't really matter what if you have Section 8, if you don't make $3,000 a month to cover it for 3 months rent, you don't qualify. So if you move out of one Section 8 subsidized housing and you go to another one and they say no, what are you going to do? They're just basically pushing everybody out, and I understand in a way what they're doing, because they're trying to protect, to keep people. There's a lot of people that don't really care about where they live, and they trash it. I'm not one of those people.
Well, let's see if there's any help. I mean, you can sense the frustration of people who are like, I just want a good place to live.
Absolutely.
I mean, is it too much to ask? But in the city, it can be.
You're absolutely right, which is why we decided to become a part of a community land trust. Just think about these individuals. They're asking, who do I call? Where do I go? Who do I address this with? Being a part of a community land trust or being a part of a shared equity program provides a stewardship opportunity. And that's where the Housing Fund has been very successful in providing that stewardship, working with individuals who may have an issue, even though they are a homeowner, or even if rental. Right now we're the only affordable housing rental in the Gulch. The Laurel House. Laurel House has 48 units of affordable housing where the rent is just $600 and so forth in the Gulch of all places, absolutely. But with us having that, we have a property management team that actually works with them and making sure that we can address these questions and being able to do that. That's why the Housing Fund is playing a key role and has decided to play that stewardship role with the Community Land Trust and being able to help individuals, making sure that they have someone to call on.
So is there anything that you know of that Bonnie can do today? Where she's says, I take Section 8 assistance, but I want to live somewhere that's nice, that doesn't have crime rate out the wazoo. What do I do? Because this is all the money I have.
I would tell her two things. One is, and probably MDHA is probably going to kill me, but that's probably the first place. I know, Marshall, don't tell people to call us, but absolutely, I think, you know what, they believe in this just as much as we do. And I think if you reach out to them, they can direct her accordingly and providing her with some assistance of, this is who you need to talk to, or this is where you need to go, because it's a Section 8 issue. And if she wants to move out of that, again, it's a matter of sitting down, talking to maybe a housing counselor, getting a better idea of what she can afford and what is best for her, and being able to guide her in that right direction.
Okay. We got to take another quick break. I know we have more calls on the line, so just sit tight where you are. We're coming right back.